Good afternoon guys, and welcome back to my channel and my Slimming World journey. This video is going to be a question and answer session as I gave my weight loss results for the week on my Thursday daily vlog. So if this is the first time you've tuned into my channel, my name is Debbie and I've been following Slimming World for just over a year, and so far I've lost 9 stone 5 pounds. This is my husband Andrew. Sometimes you'll see his arm in the videos. He's watching cricket if you can hear anything in the background. So I'm going to take the first questions from YouTube. So the first question is from Teresa, and it says, were you overweight as a child, or did the weight go on gradually as you got older? If the latter, what do you think the reason for that was? So I was born weighing, I think, 9 pounds something, so I was a big baby, and all through childhood and my teenage years I was told I was big boned and chunky, and yes, I was probably overweight as a teenager, and I was always conscious of my weight and of the size clothes I was in, certainly as a teenager. I was a size 16 at 16, and I was fitting into some of my sister's clothes, who was 10 years older than me, or thereabouts. And yes, I have always been on the big side, or big boned as some people would describe it. And I used to steal food from my mum's house and eat all sorts of things that I shouldn't be eating. So I did have an unhealthy relationship with food right from the early days. I have gone into the different diets that I followed and my life story in some of my earlier videos, so I won't go into all that. But yeah, gradually, since I was 17, despite several different diets, I've basically gained a stone a year, and gradually got up to 26 stone 7, which is when I started Slimming World. So yes, that's that question. The next question is from Lady Hatcat. She says, I always buy an item of clothing a size smaller so I have something to aim for and keep me on plan. Is there anything you do that keeps you motivated? Well, as you may have seen, I've got all my certificates and my weight loss plaque in the kitchen so that I can keep looking at those. So I do use like the next award, the next size down as my motivation. But what I do is I enjoy the clothes that I can wear now. So if I go to a shop, I wouldn't buy something that I can't fit into. I would buy something that I can enjoy now. I did have in my wardrobe a few things in the next few sizes down, and I'm starting to wear them now. This top certainly didn't fit me at the start when I first sorted my wardrobe out. So yeah, I mean, personally I would say enjoy clothes that you can wear now, but there's plenty of other things to keep you motivated: the scales, the awards, and when you do go into a shop and fit into a smaller size, there's no better feeling. The next question is from Lynn, from Lynn's Sussex Life. She asks, do you hang on to your larger clothes just in case you gain weight again, or do you get rid of them? I've very slowly been getting rid of them. I've had a few people saying that my clothes are hanging off me, or they're too loose, so if people say that, I do tend to get rid of them. I've got rid of my underwear and bras that are too big. I don't intend to gain weight again and go back up, so yeah, they're all going in the bin gradually. And as I say, I did have some other pieces that were the smaller sizes, so I could slim into those. But I don't think it's a great idea to keep things. The only thing that I've kept is my outfit from my starting photo, so that one day I can either put that on again and maybe Andrew will fit in it with me, or something silly like that, just for an amusing photograph. The next question is from Jacqueline from YouTube. Jacqueline asks, do you eat sin-free snacks during the day? When I do a food diary or my daily vlogs, you see all the food I eat. so that's an honest portrayal of the food that I eat. So no, I don't tend to snack during the day. I tend to have 3 healthy filling meals that are compliant with the plan, with the 1/3 speed, and the only thing that I might not include on my sort of daily vlogs is my water, because obviously with working full time I can't always film drinking water and making cups of tea and things, fruit tea. But no, I don't tend to snack during the day. The only time that may change is when I'm out and about, or at weekends. I do tend to struggle more on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon. So I'll have something like a fruit pot or something like that. So I really make use of those food optimising, filling foods in my meals, and I don't tend to snack on sin-free food. Another question from YouTube is from Char, and she says, what was your favourite meal before Slimming World and what is it now? I would say my favourite meal was probably lasagna, lasagna and chips, or anything with chips really, or fish and chips. A lot of the meals, oh sorry, that's Andrew knocking the table. A lot of the meals can be adapted to be made Slimming World friendly. I just as much enjoy my slow cooker lasagna that I make with a big salad now as I did before. I make a lot of curries now. Mayflower curry is a big favourite now. I like the chicken in Maggie Papers. There is a lot of meals actually now that I look forward to, because I know they're making me healthy and they're not going to make me feel poorly. I used to suffer from a lot of skin problems and a lot of indigestion, so those meals weren't doing my health any good at all. So I do now enjoy and look forward to my meals that are on plan with Slimming World. Another question from YouTube is from Pam Campbell, and she says, my question is, what's been the most rewarding aspect of losing so much weight? Well, there's been a lot of rewarding aspects. I think my YouTube is one of them, how it's taken off, how I've got so many supportive followers. That's been a great plus. How I'm so much more active and healthy, getting more things done, not just sitting on the settee, getting out and about, hopefully making more friends. We've been talking about organising outings and things like that, and I would never have, and meetups, I would never have wanted to go along to something like that before. My sister's invited me on nights out, like we're going on Friday, and I would probably have said, oh no, I'm going to be too tired after a day at work, but now I'm going. And also to just hopefully one day be able to walk in a normal shop and buy a normal size of clothes. I'm not talking 10 or 12, I'm talking maybe 14, size 14, size 16 would be brilliant. At the moment I'm size 22, so we're getting there, and that is a really big plus coming down from a 32. The next few questions are from my Facebook page, which is Debbie on Slimming World, and Tracy asks, what are the times you find the hardest to stick to plan and how do you get through them? I think the hardest times are, like I say, the Saturday and Sunday afternoons, and this is why I like to keep busy. I find lots of things to do, I make videos, I do some of my batch cooking, and if things get really desperate I'll do some housework or some spring cleaning. So yeah, those are the times I find hardest, and those I just keep busy, or I'd read Slimming World magazines looking for recipes, just trying to keep myself motivated. Or like during the week, if I'm struggling a little bit, I've got lots of people to watch on Instagram and Snapchat. They're like live stories that you can watch, and they make loads of things that give you really good ideas. So yeah, I'll nip on and watch those. And of course people on YouTube. So running a YouTube channel actually keeps me quite busy, answering people's comments and things like that. So Lots of things to keep you busy is the answer. Sorry, my phone's going to keep... Right, Sue asks, what do you do on the days when you fancy something unhealthy? I tend to think of Slimming World alternatives. So for example, I've just uploaded the Slimming World half-sin sausage rolls. I just try and think of the alternatives, or I try to have what something that's within sins. So for example, I found some mini ice creams, what they're called, magnums, in Iceland. It's Iceland's own make. They're about this big and they're 6 sins. So something like that would be great, to feel like you're having something naughty but it's still within your sin value. And also a great key is to use the filling and healthy foods with your 1/3 speed to keep you full and keep your mind occupied. Drink your water, so keep your body hydrated, keep it full. Don't be afraid to eat on Slimming World. Emma Perkins asks, what would you say are your best non-food items that help you stick to plan? Probably my YouTube. There was definitely a couple of moments when I'm daily vlogging, for example, when something like the jacket potato coming out covered with cheese would be a real big temptation for me, and because I'm filming I've got the extra incentive to send it back. Other things are, I've made a 10 Slimming World gadgets video. I think my Actifry came top of that. That's down below in my list. There's lots of gadgets out there, but yeah, an Actifry is a great one. I do use it for quite a lot of different things. And my Slimming World group. My Slimming World group I go to every week. Obviously don't want to take any film when I'm in there, but that is a great source of tips and inspiration and support. Deborah asked, what are your favourite foods? Cheese is probably a big one, which is why I have to be really careful with measuring the cheese. I love peppers and tomatoes. I like Slimming World chips, that's another big favourite. I like my baked oats. I make those about once a week and they're really nice. I love strawberries. Things just, I really like, honestly, a lot of the things that you can eat on Slimming World. So that's why I try to concentrate on that. If I am craving something, I'll try to concentrate on what I can have or what I could make instead of the thing that I'm craving. Gemma asked, did you start exercising from the start, and what type of exercise did you do at your heaviest? Yes, I did actually start exercising from my very first week at Slimming World at 26 stone 7. What I did was I took Elfie for a walk for 5 minutes the first week, just round the first block for 5 minutes. Then the next week I went 10 minutes. The week after that I went 15 minutes. And I've slowly built up the walking so that now I'm doing at least 30 minutes a day, unless I'm going to the gym or going to group where I do a slightly shorter walk. And I've earned all my Body Magic awards doing walking. And I would really recommend that as a form of exercise because it gets you out on the streets, gets you in the fresh air. If you've got a dog or can borrow one, it's a really good way of getting exercise. Once I'd sort of mastered the walking and I was happy, I then did do longer walks at weekends, up to 1 or 2 hours. I think the most I've walked so far is 4 miles, so I would like to try and beat that record this summer. But once I'd mastered that walking, I looked on YouTube and I found Leslie Sansone walk at home videos, and they range in length from 5 minutes to an hour, and it's basically walking on the spot with different exercises with your arms and legs or with weights, and you can also build that up as well, and that really helped me in my preparation to start my gym program. So yes, I did do exercise from the start, and now I go to the gym twice a week, plus still walking healthy most days. The next few questions are from Instagram, which is, my Instagram is @eodebe. So Karen asks, how did you and Andrew meet and how long have you been together? Me and Andrew met on the internet. We met on a dating site, something like North Yorkshire Dating. I was living in Skipton and he was living in Selby. And we met face to face after a few weeks of talking and exchanging emails at Selby train station. And on another of my videos I've told a funny story about our first kiss, which was interrupted by a man asking for directions. So we first met in October 2005 and we got married in September 2006. So we've just recently celebrated our 10-year wedding anniversary. Then Lynette asks, what are your favourite ways to use your A and B choices? I think my A choice has got to be cheese. I love it with beans on a jacket potato, or usually in a quiche or lasagna. So that's my A. And my favourite way to use my B is in my breakfast. I vary my breakfast. I'll use grape nuts, baked oats, muesli, Weetabix, bread occasionally. Yeah, so mainly for my breakfast, that's when I'll use my B choice. Charlotte says, how did you manage to bag a job working from home? I was working in the office in Leeds for 5 years as a secretary. And they said one day we're going to change the way we work and we're going to send all the typing to the typists and document production officers at home. So I asked to work from home because I more enjoy the typing side of things rather than the paperwork and administration. And I got the job because I had the typing speed and all the other skills involved. So I do audio typing and document editing for my job from home. Donna says, have you ever talked about having children? Unfortunately, we're unable to have children. I have gone more into this in another video. We've had investigations and it's been said that we're unable to have children and there's no treatment or anything that they can do, unfortunately. Lou asked, what was a typical day of eating before starting Slimming World? This is a bit more difficult because I was never like a binge eater or like what you read in magazines where you say, oh, I ate this, I ate this, I ate this. I just had things like toast, or sometimes I'd have a coffee with 6 digestives for breakfast. And then I'd take a pack up with sandwiches and crisps and things, but then I'd buy from Marks and Spencer's. So I'd buy something like a pot of prawn salad with a samosa and 4 chocolate muffins, and I'd probably eat at least 2 of those chocolate muffins through the day. But because I wasn't actually sat eating the 4 chocolate muffins at once, I was eating them through the day, it didn't feel like a big binge. And then I'd just have, in the evening, I'd have like a sort of meat and 2 veg meal, and then I'd just eat whatever I wanted to it in the evening, a cup of tea with biscuits or a bit of chocolate or whatever, but it never seemed like overeating, and I never did any exercise. Slimming World Teardrop asks, are you planning a holiday this year? Yes, and it's not very far away. So in a couple of weeks we'll be in the Lake District. We stay in a chalet and we go there quite regularly, or a lodge as they call it, and it's self-catering. It's a lovely spacious lodge. I'm hoping to do some vlogging while we're there, but sometimes the internet's not great. But yeah, we'll stay near Windermere and it's a lovely place to stay. We love the Lake District. We've then got another 2 further weeks booked off in July and September. We'll probably go back to Bridlington for a few days, and then the 3rd one, it'll be our wedding anniversary in September. So we may go back to the lakes again, or we may venture somewhere else. She also asks, what is your favourite thing to do in your free time? At the moment it's probably YouTube. Certainly this weekend I've made 3 videos. I certainly enjoy making my videos. I like to, as I said before, catch up on Insta stories and Snapchat stories. I like to take Alfie out for a walk, and I watch quite a bit of telly as well, so that's all my free time accounted for. Charlotte again asks, do you have a target plan in mind, such as being a certain weight, getting bikini ready or taking a trip in a plane? My first target weight is 15 stone because when I was 17, that's the first time I attended a Weight Watchers group and I was 15.5 stone. I'm now 17 stone 2.5, so it's not too far away, and after that I'm just going to see how I feel. I have had vague ideas of getting down to somewhere around 13 stone 4, which would mean I'd lost half my starting weight, which was 26 stone 7. But whether I'll get there or not, I don't know. I would like to get to a size 16, so that, as I say, I can walk into a normal clothing shop and buy some clothes and not a plus size shop. But we'll just see how we get on. Jane Bradders, hi Jane, asks, how did you hear about Slimming World and what do you enjoy most about your group? I'd always heard of Slimming World. Years and years ago, my friend at work was doing it and it was Red and Green Days, and I was a Weight Watchers girl all the way, so the Red and Green Days just sounded far too complicated. And then my in-laws did it about 5-6 years ago, but it was still Red and Green Days and it still didn't interest me. But this time I'd gone on the trip to London and I'd been a bit upset because I couldn't get on this ride, and also I just knew that I was really heavy, and I'd seen people posting on Facebook, my friends, saying, oh, I've lost £3 this week, I've lost my first stone, etc., and they were going to Slimming World. So I just thought, even if it was still Red and Green Days, because I didn't know there was a new plan, I would still go and try it because I wanted to try something new, apart from, I didn't want to go back to Weight Watchers. So that's how I heard about Slimming World, and it has really worked for me, and I think it's a bit easier than the old points plan, although I know there's some new plans for Weight Watchers now. Deb60 asks, how do you feel now that you've lost so much weight? Do you feel more confident? I think that's similar to one of the other questions that was asked before, but yes, I do feel much more confident. I would never have sent a jacket potato back or any meal back that was wrong. I would have just eaten it. I think my YouTube channel's helped with my confidence. I'm a bit more outgoing. I'm waiting for these meetups and keep forgetting to talk about SlimCon. I am going to SlimCon in September with Andy Nev, Tilly Cutler and Jane Bradders and Patrick Weighing Time, so I will be there in September, and I'm also hoping there's going to be a meet-up in the Just Chockies group. So yeah, those types of things I probably never would have gone to before, and certainly with going to the gym and going out walking and stuff, I have a lot more confidence with things like that. Drew asks, do you use all your sins? Well, this depends on whether I'm vlogging or writing down or not. As I said to you in my vlog on Thursday, I do keep within my 15 sins. At a weight of 17 stone, I could be allowed 20 sins, but I have kept to 15 sins all the way along my journey. Keep between 10 and 15 sins. So if I'm vlogging or writing down in my diary, I do usually manage to keep it between 12 and 13 maybe. But if I'm not writing down, then I'm just adding it up in my head, then it does tend to stray towards the 15. But it's certainly working for me, keeping it between 10 and 15 a day. and I would certainly advise you to eat at least 5 sins a day. I've got to go and fetch the dog in. So thank you very much for all those questions, and if you've got any more questions, leave them below or on my Facebook page or Instagram, which is Debbie on Slimming World, or @yourdebbie. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching.